On Thursday, the Church Universal celebrates the Feast of the Ascension. However, in this diocese, as well as many dioceses, they postpone it to the following Sunday. Thursday marks 9 days until the Feast of Pentecost. This is the original novena, and it sets the pattern for all subsequent novenas, a time in which there is an intense and focused prayer for a particular intention. Of course, for the Feast of Pentecost and the novena that precedes it, the gift that they're praying for is the Holy Spirit. But that gift is expressed as gifts, the gifts that God brings to us, that sends to us through the Holy Spirit. Just like an invisible white light is manifested through the 7 colors of a rainbow, so too is this gift of the Holy Spirit more visibly expressed through this 7-fold gift. Those gifts are enumerated in Isaiah 11, and these are probably things that we all had to remember when we were going through religious ed, when we were going and preparing for our confirmation. And so I wonder if you still remember them. Some laughter, so maybe there are some that do and some that don't. But there's a benefit to remembering them, not only because it does exercise our memories, but because in remembering these gifts, we call to mind more regularly what we need to ask God for, what we need to ask God for in order to live our Christian lives, in order to live a life of holiness. But it's also good to remember them because we can more readily point to them when they are expressed in our lives, when they are becoming effective in the ministry that we undertake or in the relationships that we have. Of course, now that I called you out for remembering them, I'm sure my mind is going to go blank, but we're going to give it a shot nonetheless. So the 7-fold gifts: knowledge, understanding, wisdom, counsel, courage, piety, and fear of the Lord. Today, I'd like just to focus a little bit on courage. It is also called fortitude. Courage is not fearlessness. Courage is not an unconquerability. In fact, fear and a sense of our vulnerability might be said to be necessary ingredients in order to exercise courage. Because courage is to choose, to freely choose what is right and what is good, even when we have this feeling of fear, even when we're experiencing a sense of vulnerability. And it is for that reason that neither the angels above nor the animals below can exercise this virtue, but only we as humans, overcoming our fear to do what is right. We see this virtue of courage, this gift of courage being played out, exemplified by Paul and Silas in our first reading. Prior to what we get to in that reading, we know that they continued to exercise this gift as they boldly proclaimed the gospel, the good news, even in the face of being arrested, of being beaten, of being imprisoned, and possibly even being executed. But in our reading today, it's exercised once again. A great earthquake rises up and it throws open the jail, almost as if God is giving them a present to go and save themselves. But yet what they do is they remain. Contrary to perhaps our human inclination, our human nature. Our human nature is to do what is easy, what is comfortable, what might be self-serving. But that's not what they do. They don't seek the means by which to save their own necks, but that which will save the neck of the jailer. And so they stay there, and the jailer sees them, and it brings him to a place of conversion. What is it that allowed you to act so contrary to your human nature? What is it that gave you this sense of courage to do what was right and not choose the path of what was easy or what was comfortable? It was that exercise of that gift that not only brought that jailer, but his whole family into the faith by this expression that is so countercultural. But we need the gift of courage to do that. And it's not only the gift of courage when the stakes are high, in those kind of particular situations or on those occasions where everything is on the line. But it's even in the small ways of exercising courage. And then in those small ways, we build up this ability to be courageous when the stakes are high, when everything is on the line, when perhaps we are coming to a place in which we might be arrested, beaten, and executed. But that spirit cannot come if Jesus does not go. He too could choose the easy way out, to remain with his apostles. And this is what they would also want, because it would ease their sorrow. It would allow them to continue in the more easy and comfortable way in which they have become accustomed. But if Jesus did that, he would simply serve as a model, as an example, as a teacher, something that remains external to them, that is just trying to teach them or show them the way. This too is our natural human tendency. We want to hold on to things. We want to hold on to situations. Perhaps we even want to hold on to people because we believe that this is going to keep us afloat. And this is the easier, more comfortable way. But it's only when those things are let go of, perhaps only when they are taken away, that we actually learn how to swim. That thing no longer being present to keep us afloat. And so it is only when Jesus goes away that he can then send his Spirit, that this very Spirit of Christ, the powerful presence, can dwell and abide within us, giving us the power, giving us the courage to do that which we previously thought impossible.